What up, guys? Welcome back to Last Sunday, episode 21. We got my boy Brandon here. How you feeling, man?
Man, I'm feeling good. Appreciate you having me on.
You already know we got to get you right, man. I had to get you on. It's crazy because I was thinking like we only met one other time.
Yeah.
And I think that was at Unnamed.
Yes, Unnamed. Yeah.
So
I was gonna say I was actually thinking on the way over here. I'm like, we met probably once, twice, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm like, but you was good people, man.
I know.
Just meeting you, I was like, this dude just seemed dope, man. So
yeah. I remember when I first met you. I know we met each other through Eric too.
Yes. Yeah.
Which people don't know, Hilgi, go check him out. He's fire.
Shout out to Hilgi, man.
But yeah, so I was just thinking about it. I'm like, man, and I think we were chopping up about PE and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, man, it's one of those things where I always tell people it's just dope, man. You meet people and you kind of never know
when you're gonna see him again.
When you maybe gonna see him again, what kind of connection? So it's get out of your house. You know what I mean? Meet some people.
Exactly.
You really do. You never know kind of what.
And
you don't know.
Yeah, and you know, it's so crazy. I was flipping through Facebook, right, and I'm just like, who can I have on that I feel like can bring something to the pod?
No, I appreciate.
And I saw you, and I was like, I gotta have him on. So
yeah, man, it's one of them life experience things. Like you know, I feel like I'm 40 years old. I'm 40 years old, man. I've been around now for a while. I've done a little bit of everything, I guess, as far as life is concerned. I'm a dad. I'm a teacher. I'm married. You know, I do music. I've been around, so I hope I can kind of share some stuff today, man. And
that's good, man, because that's what we're looking for. We're looking for people that kind of experience life and you know, older men and older women too. I mean, you know,
sure.
That's another thing I'm trying to get. I'm trying to get more women on here, but
get that women perspective too.
Exactly.
That's dope.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that.
I was gonna ask, just to get into it, man.
Yeah.
Where'd you grow up at?
So I grew up in kind of like the Lombard, Glenbard area. That's where I went to school, Glenbard South in high school. Kind of grew up in the Lombard area, more or less. But I didn't move out to Aurora until like my earlier adulthood, I guess. So I was kind of in the Aurora area. Got married. That's where we were kind of living. I've kind of been in the surrounding area since, but yeah, man. Grew up Lombard. Did all my junior high school. You know,
the typical BS.
Typical stuff. Exactly. That, you know, your normal stuff. Yeah. Played ball. You know, met some friends, man, along the years that still talk to. So
nice.
You know, hey, you want to take it for granted, man, where you kind of grow up and go to school at. Yeah. Hopefully you keep some good connections from, you know, over the years.
Old friends that you grew up with.
Yeah, it's cool to have that because they know where you kind of came from and where you are now too, you know, type of things. So that's cool.
They see the come up. I see the come up from afar. You know what I'm saying? I see you out here grinding, bro. I see you posting. This guy's always posting on Facebook, you know, always doing this thing. So I mean, it's consistency, so it's good.
Yeah, man, appreciate it.
Speaking about music, I was thinking, man, like, did you, like, when you were in high school and stuff like that, did you know that you always wanted to rap, or how'd that come about?
Yeah, no, that's cool. I mean, it was junior high. I started writing in junior high, and I've had a chance to talk with a lot of people now about music and stuff over the years, but I always tell them the first song that got me writing was Gangster's Paradise by Coolio.
There you go.
So that gives me my age, even though I told you. But man, yeah, I heard that song and I was just kind of like, it was just one of them things that kind of inspired me to start writing.
Yeah.
So I mean, I remember like writing over the beat, even with the words from the song being played.
Yeah.
I didn't even have an instrumental or nothing yet, but that was the first time I started writing. I did some stuff in high school with my boy. Shout out to Brandon Thomas. We played ball together too. But that's where I started writing and making music and learning how to record and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I put it down for a lot of years too then, and I didn't start really back up till I was like 27.
I feel like everybody does.
Yeah.
Everybody that, I mean, because I'm a former artist, you know?
No, and I've heard some of your stuff as well. Yeah.
So,
it's dope.
And I that's one of those things where I kind of like, I stopped, and then it's weird because like, as an artist, you always get inspiration out of nowhere. Like, you just feel like you want to write. You always feel like you want to make a song. Yeah. And I feel like you could attest to this. Like,
yeah. And, you know, sometimes I think it's good to take breaks and to kind of put it down. And I mean, like, we know life. We were just talking a little bit right before we got on, but
gas
and life and all that kind of stuff can kind of hinder your creative process a little bit. But But I mean, if you love to do something, do it.
Absolutely.
I mean, do it. So I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's just one of them things. If you got to take a break, take a break. But don't just write to write. Don't just do something to do it. Like have some inspiration behind it, and hopefully something cool come out of it.
What was the inspiration for you to pick it back up when you were 27?
Yeah, man. So I picked up music again. Now I'm married now at this point, and I haven't done it for years. So I just started doing it. Started to get the equipment again and that kind of stuff. I didn't really have no inspiration to do it. I just kind of missed doing it.
Yeah.
But in fast forward years, and I mean, I wasn't doing Christian hip hop. Yeah. So I'm a Christian hip hop artist. That's what I do now. So it's God, it's life experiences, and still point you to God. That's my music. That's what I do now. But that's not what I was doing when I kind of picked it up.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't like cussing and stuff like that.
But it wasn't.
It wasn't what I do now. It wasn't the CHH Christian hip hop stuff that I do now. But and that happened. I started to do that when I was about 30, 31. So so I've been on that track ever since. About 9 years, kind of going with the CHH Christian hip hop stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
I was gonna ask too. What were some hip hop inspiration? Like, what was like? What were you listening to? What was a younger you bump into?
Yeah,
and I know you had like. Oh
yeah. So I grew up on Eminem, Jadakiss, Cannabis. Those are like the guys I listened to growing up. It was that gangster rap, all the stuff that
NWA?
Unfortunately, I get. Yeah, you know what? NWA was. Now I am older. Don't get me wrong, but NWA was even a little bit before me, or before that. I just wasn't really listening to them, but they kind of came out. But like Snoop, Dre. When they were the Dog Pound, that kind of stuff. Oh my gosh, in high school.
Were you ever into like Tribe Called Quest or anything like that?
Yeah, Q-Tip, Wu-Tang. Yeah, some of those guys. Wu-Tang I definitely rocked with.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember having, y'all might not even know what a cassette tape is. But I had the Wu-Tang cassette tape.
We gotta go. We're going back in time here now.
Yeah, you're in the time machine with this one now. But yeah, man, this is good music back in the day.
Oh man, I that's like kind of where I lean more.
I feel like.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
I was just before you got here, I was working out and I was just listening to music and I'm like, all these artists sound the same, man.
Nowadays, right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And I actually had to go back and listen to like some 2000. I'm like, man, this is bringing me back. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Yeah, I mean, I think you still got some artists today that maybe people might, like a Kendrick Lamar or something like that. Some people might be, they still spitting, man. They giving you something to talk.
Joyner Lucas is another one.
Joyner Lucas. I like Joyner Lucas.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean,
he's dope.
I don't listen to tons and tons of like secular type of music, but I know when somebody's good. Yeah. And if they come out with something, even thing like it was Will Smith. We on Will Smith there. But I'm gonna slap.
We should talk about that.
I'm gonna slap you with that song that Joyner Lucas did for Will. That Will Smith song.
Yes.
Like stuff like that is creative and like creatively done. I'll check it out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That kind of stuff, but in general.
Logic is fire too, man. Logic is fire.
So there's people still spitting out here, don't get me wrong.
There's very few though, man. There's not like how it used to be. But not a lot
like it used to be. Yeah.
And I think a lot of I feel like people are kind of getting tired of it. I mean, at least I am, but I feel like people are gonna
the same old radio stuff.
Yeah. And I feel like people are gonna kind of go back to that lyrical rap and I'm hoping, you know what I'm saying? Cuz
and honestly I've grown to like some of the melodic stuff that people give, like people the auto-tune stuff and stuff that you could sing rap that I've grown to like it. Some don't get me wrong, but I still you kind of fall back to what it is you grew up on. So like be like, hey, I want to hear some guys spitting, and that's what you fall back to. It's just the way it goes. I don't know. True. It's the way it goes.
So I was gonna ask you, what was the main reason why you became an educator?
Yeah, so I'm a PE teacher. I went back to school later in life. So I think I graduated, I was 26.
Yeah.
So I went back to school to get I already had my associates. So I was like, I don't really know what I wanted to do, to be honest.
Yes. Yeah.
And a lot of people are in that boat and they come out of high school. Y'all don't know what you want to do.
I still don't know what I want to do. Yeah. I got a 1.5-year-old. Like
no, and that's life, man, and that's fair too. I mean, people expect that you're just gonna know what you want to do coming out of high school.
Exactly.
That's not the case. That's just not the case. you could try to force it on somebody, but you sometimes just need to go through some life experience to kind of see what you want to do, where God is leading you. Hopefully you're following that purpose in life. We haven't really touched on that yet, but hopefully you're following your purpose in life too, and that could kind of guide you. But being an educator was one of those things. I enjoyed coaching, so I played ball in high school, a year in college. So basketball.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I look more people are like, oh, this dude look like he played football.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I was like this 200-pound point guard running around out there.
Let's go.
So I mean, coaching was like more of a passion. I was trying to follow something that I was passionate about, and that's why I went back to be an educator. I was like, okay, it was cool talking to kids and seeing them grow and that type of thing, and so that's where I'm at. Go ahead.
I was gonna say too, when we first met, I was thinking about becoming a PE teacher.
Yeah, I remember us talking a little bit about that.
And that was probably one of the main reasons why, is because I wanted to be kind of like the youth and inspire kids.
Yeah.
Fitness and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But obviously, like you said, your life just kind of...
Life can bring you different places sometimes.
I mean, I'm 24, and I feel like I'm barely starting to mature, man. And it's crazy, though, because like you said, we get hit fast, man. Like, as soon as you get out of high school, they're like, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Here's this. Here's that. Yeah.
I mean, the fair answer is I don't know. You know, some people don't know. But yeah, that we were talking a little bit about PE back in the day, and I actually remember that convo. And it is fun working with kids and seeing them grow. And you know, it's funny though in the profession of being a teacher though.
Yeah.
Like for me, to be totally honest, like I love the actual coaching aspect. Yeah. Because when you're coaching, you're dealing with people who wanna be like there to play ball, and so you're dealing with that. When the teaching profession, you're dealing with behavioral, you're dealing with, you know, some of that comes along with it. And even in that, it has its challenges, but it's rewarding too. And like every once in a while you get that one or two that you actually get to talk to and maybe they're actually getting it. I teach elementary school.
Yeah, so you're in the thick of it.
I'm in the thick of like little kids like still trying to like figure anything out. Yeah. So like there's kids, you know, they need some talking to, and it's nice being a male figure in elementary school and being, you know, having a chance to hopefully speak some.
Do they listen to your music?
Encouragement. So the music thing is a funny question. Yeah. Not a funny question, but like I don't like go around and like showcase it at school. Hey y'all, check me out, man. BRM on YouTube. You know, I don't do that, but it always comes out at some point. Like one of the other teachers will say something, and all the kids, Mr. Randazzo, you do music, so I don't put it out there. But some of them do listen to it and they check it out. And they're gonna hear something positive from it when they check it out, which I think is cool. Yeah, I have kids in 6th grade and 5th grade. Yeah, so I always kind of think like, what would I want my kids listening to? Absolutely. So if somebody else's kids listen to me, they're at least hearing something that's dope. You know,
that's good
and good for them.
I was gonna ask, what's the favorite part of you being a PE teacher? Probably just being with the kids.
Yeah, being with the kids and, you know, having a chance to play games with them and that kind of stuff is great. I mean, and also teaching fitness. We just talked about that. Yeah. You said you were working out here before. Like the goal of a PE teacher is like is to hopefully that somebody will continue to work out into their later stages of life. Like, what can you find in your life that you'll be able to continue to do till you're like, that's it. You know, you got nothing left. I play ball. I'm 40 years old. I'm still playing ball. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, so like.
Are you doing windmills?
There ain't no dunking. But you know, I'm still out there. I could compete. You know, I'm playing the leagues. I'm running.
Oh, there you go.
You know what I mean? So like, if you can still like, we always say it. There's something we always say in our class, and we always tell them to be able to do whatever it is you want to do is being fit. You can go out, you can mow the lawn. You could go out and do your job every day and pour concrete. Yeah. You can go lift weights. You can go play ball if somebody asks you to play ball. You go play football on Thanksgiving and not get hurt. Right. So like you're able to do
what you want
to do. Honestly, that's pretty much being fit. You know what I mean? Like, so you can't go out and mow your lawn. You can't get off your couch. You can't go vacuum. you ain't fit, man. Like you need to look at something.
I mean, sometimes I can mow the lawn, but sometimes I don't want to.
Well,
so.
I do not want to mow the lawn.
Exactly.
I tell you that right there. But you get it though. To be able to do what you want to do is good. So
I guess like recently, just to touch on fitness, I kind of recently just got into it just for the simple fact of my kid.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, like you said, I don't want to be 40 and not be able to run around with them, and you know, so
it's good for you, man.
It's important.
And in this day and age, we know how important it is to be healthy.
Yeah.
Because if you ain't healthy, there's things out here that's going to get you. So
yeah, definitely.
That's definitely an eye opener, I think, for a lot of people during the last couple of years.
Yeah, no, honestly, that's probably like one of the main reasons too, is because my whole family, they're diabetic. So I'm like, I'm not trying to get diabetes, get sick.
There it is.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, you got to be safe, man. It's about longevity of life. You want to live as long as you can.
Yeah. If you want to be around, we got to take care of our bodies, and I know it's a struggle.
Definitely.
It is a struggle. So no, that's dope, man.
I was gonna ask you, so I know you said that just to touch back on the music, you before when you're 27, it wasn't really about God. What was that switch for you?
What changed?
What changed?
So without getting too far into it today, but I mean, my marriage was on the rocks when I was about 30 years old. We got married when we were 25, 24 years old. I was about 30, 31 years old. I was about done, kicked out the house. That was going to be about it for my marriage. And God showed up then. I remember him talking through my wife to me, whether anybody else knows what that's like or whatever. But I was listening there, sitting in the car, talking with my wife. And God hit me there and said, "What are you doing? What are you supposed to? Are you doing anything that you are supposed to be doing right now in your life?" And the answer was no.
Yeah.
And that for me was that's my turning point in life. I had a 1-year-old kid, I think, at the time, 2 and 1 basically. What's the rest of your life going to look like, Brandon? And is this what what are your choices? What this is it. What are you going to do? And lucky, my wife was there for me, and God was there for me, and that was it. It took me. You said you're 24 years old.
Yeah, I was just about to say I'm 24.
Took me till 31 years old to kind of not get your life together, but start to figure some things out and kind of start living in purpose. So it's never too late. It's never too early, but it's never too late to start following God and that relationship with Him. So that's what changed.
Yeah.
So anytime I made music, it was testimony. Talk about what's going on in my life, what happened, where God showed up at. And I haven't stopped since. So
that's amazing. I was gonna say too, to touch on what you're saying, it's kind of crazy how like God could just show up in those times. Yeah. It's like when you're down, He hits you, man. It's like it's crazy but it is like it is. That's how it works. You know what I mean? When we're down,
it's the only way we're going to listen. Yeah. It's sad. Like, how come God always? How come? I've heard this asked once. How come God only shows up when people are down? Like, like how come He can't show up? When you're like high? Because when you're living that high, like life, like everything is good, you don't need to listen to nobody. Exactly. That's what happens is you don't listen to nobody. Yeah. So I think God uses those moments because now we're vulnerable and we don't have a choice but to, you don't have a choice but to listen. If you high and you strung out, or you're at the last ropes of your marriage, or your job is crashing, your family, you have no choice but to listen. Yeah. And if you don't, we've all seen what kind of happens if you don't, follow and obey God. Yeah. So anyways, that's just how it happens.
And that's like the thing that like what you said, when you're down, that's when kind of God comes in your life and stuff like that. Yeah. But it's just crazy that it has to get to that level.
I know. I agree.
But also,
I hate that it has to.
But also, like, it's about the experience. It's about like, I feel like that's another question, just like another caveat. Yeah. Like what people ask too. Why is God? Why is there bad in the world? That's another. That's another one.
Another thing people always ask.
And it's like, because if there's only good, then there's never bad, so you can redeem yourself.
That's true too.
To kind of go back to, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
There has to be free will. You have to be able, like, you know what I mean?
You gotta be able to make a choice.
Exactly.
Otherwise, we're robots.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? We're just robot. I mean, God made us to just be a robot.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's what God made, but he didn't. And I think he knew because he wanted people who were going to make a choice to follow him.
Yeah.
And to build that relationship.
And it's a story.
Yeah.
It's a story that has to be told.
It's a testimony.
Exactly.
It's a story. Yeah. So you're absolutely right, man.
It's crazy to like, because it's like the divine of what God has in store for people. And the experience of our life, what we go through, it's all for a purpose. And it's like what you said, God gives you purpose.
Yeah.
And and then it's like, for in turn, what you're doing is making music to give people purpose. Yeah. That's what it's about. Like,
yeah. And, I saw you, I'm actually let you just keep going because I know some of the questions you got coming.
Yeah.
So never mind. I'm going to wait because I saw you talking about identity in one of your past shows.
Yes, I was.
So that's a big deal when it comes to purpose. Is knowing your identity, because you can't follow your purpose unless you know your identity.
Absolutely.
So we'll get to that. I think we'll get to that one. What are your questions there?
If you want, we can get into it.
Let's get into it now because that just makes sense. Otherwise, it's a bad transition. So, I mean, one of those things as far as identity is concerned is, I've had this question asked before about what would you tell your younger self?
Oh, that's one of your questions. That's one of my questions, yeah.
And I've had it asked a lot. And it was funny because, Angel lives about 40 minutes from me. So I had a little bit of time to think here in the car. Because that's a loaded question.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things you could tell yourself when you were younger. But we all know ourselves and how we were when we were younger.
Exactly. I never thought about it like that.
That's what true. I thought about.
Yeah.
In the car. And I thought, I've always answered the same thing. And I've always answered that question as... I would put myself around godly people.
Yeah.
As a younger man. And I'm not saying that's wrong or nothing, but I know how myself was.
Yeah.
And I just would have kind of been, I
don't want to be around that.
I don't want to be around that. So if I would have told myself that, I don't know if I would have been doing it. But maybe it would plant the seed, and maybe then I would. But the other thing I was just thinking about was the identity thing. If I went back and talked to myself, Brandon, don't put your identity in basketball and chasing girls. And that's all I wanted to do as an 18-year-old, 19-year-old
kid.
Yeah. I mean, what am I going to do? Am I going to play? Am I going to hoop? Am I going to play some college? That was my whole identity.
Yeah.
So if that's your whole identity, you're going to fail at a whole lot of stuff. So I would say, telling my younger self, hey, find your identity, which by the way is in God.
Yeah.
Stop following yourself and making everything about yourself. Make it about others, because if you make it about others, I think that's when you will start to see kind of God play out in some of that
in your life.
Get out of yourself and start thinking about others.
Yeah.
And I think hopefully and of course put yourself around godly people, because I do think that is important. That's how I started. That's how I got into the following God and learning about God, was being around those people.
Yeah.
And my wife's family. So it's a loaded question though. It's tough.
And it's tough because the touch on the identity thing, it's man, at 18, you don't know, man.
Yeah.
You're so lost, bro.
So lost.
You're just looking for validation. You want people to look at you and it's just crazy.
You're right.
It's literally it's in movies all the time. The popular kid and then you got the bully and it's crazy to say, but that's really what it is. Everyone wants to be the one that everyone wants to see. You know what I mean?
Be the guy. Yeah. Be the, that's all you're looking for.
Exactly. You're looking for validation from other people to say hey, he's cool. I want to be around him. But once you figure that out, that doesn't matter. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It's a whole different ballgame.
Everything you do is not for others. It's honestly it's like you said, you're doing it for yourself, but then obviously God is the whole entire purpose of that. Cause
if you don't know who God is and you listening to the show, you're thinking to yourself, okay, I don't believe in that, whatever. So you not, it doesn't do anything for you. But if you keep living your life out just worried about yourself, I think you run into things. You're just chasing that money now. It's all, I'm gonna chase that money. I'm gonna chase that next relationship, that hotter girl, that hotter woman. You know what I mean? So life there's no purpose in it then. But I feel like when you following God, then you have purpose. You helping others. You helping, you have that relationship with God. So
it's the caveat though. I was thinking you said that you didn't start until like you were 30.
Yeah.
And I feel like that right there is in itself, like, sometimes, man, like, I just think about it, like, you kind of have to mess up.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Again, we don't like it.
Yeah, but like, it's just like, and it's all part of God's purpose for you, I feel like.
Yeah, you gotta live life and have some experience, otherwise you don't know no better.
And it's like, it's the same reason why, like, me and my fiance, like, for my kid, we want to, like, go to church and raise him in a church.
Yeah, sure.
To plant the seed.
Yeah.
Because we know, like, he's going to grow up. He's going to see reality of life.
Yeah.
He's going to do things that
he's going to mess up.
You know what I mean? But it's that seed that kind of leads him back.
Where will he come back?
Yeah.
Will he just come back to not knowing who God is, not knowing his purpose?
Yeah.
You know, or will he come back to just, I messed up now. I'm just going to keep kind of going alone at this and keep messing up. But not have that foundation of God and how he loves you, and you don't have to worry about nobody else, and you don't have to worry about nobody else like trying to perform for them and put on a show for them. It doesn't matter, you know. That's what I want for my kids too, man. So
yeah,
kudos to y'all, man.
No, that's good, man. Because it's like, I look at people like yourself, other people I kind of look up to, and I get the experience from others, because it's like, you have to learn from it. You know what I mean? And if I can learn from you, then I'd rather not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you got to have somebody that's older in your life that kind of can, like, you know, steer you the right. Like, hey, I wouldn't do that. Yeah. And it's crazy because, like, as kids, we never listen.
You never listen.
And then you later on you experience when you're older, you're like, man, I should have listened.
You know, I just had this conversation with not listening with my wife, and just kind of like, about my son. I coach his basketball team. Okay. So I was coaching his team for a little bit. I said, I was talking to her. I said, I don't know if he still wants me to be his coach. Yeah. You know, would he do better, you know, listening from somebody else? Yeah. Which I think can be the case sometimes, because kids, they listen to other people sometimes a little bit better when it comes to different things. Yeah. Like if I'm scolding my son and talking to him about God and life and other things, and me and my wife.
Dad.
Yeah. But I mean, but at the same time too, he's used to that from us. Yeah. So I think he does take it. He takes it. But if it's like basketball or maybe something like that where he doesn't maybe want what you have to say, you know, that could be different too. So sometimes it is good to have somebody else talking and mentoring your kids in different places in life
and stuff like that.
But yeah, I mean, just as far as listening, it's one of those things where you just have to, I don't know. It can come from different people. It could come from mentors. It could come from your dad. It could come, but it ended up saying, long story long, we talked to my son. Hey, would you still like it? He's like, oh, Dad, I don't want anybody else to coach me but you.
There you go.
But he takes offense sometimes when I say stuff to him. So that's why I was like, maybe he would do but they listen. Yeah. They're not listening, but you're still planting the seed on them with the things you're saying. And I think they will come back to you, like you said, later in life and be like, oh yeah, that's why they told me to do that. Even though I messed up, but they had somewhere to come back to that foundation that you gave them, that thing you was trying to help them out with. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's why Dad said that. Exactly. That's why Coach said that. Exactly. So yeah, long story long, but it was just kind of, that's how life is, man.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you too, man, just to kind of touch back into the music. Yeah. When you look at what you're doing and what you're working towards, what's your goal for the music right now?
So music is one of them things, man. It's a good thing. It's a good thing for you to release your thoughts and put it down on paper.
And the reason why I do it.
Yeah, man.
Well, I used to.
Yeah. No, and you never know. You might come back to it. I mean, you said 24 years old. I started back up again. I was kind of 27, 30.
I was literally just talking to my fiance about it. I just feel like
you never know.
Never know. Yeah.
No, you don't know. So, it's a therapy, man, to be able to put your thoughts down and like I always say I don't think I'm a great speaker, talker. That's something God has worked on in my life, making me a teacher. I stutter a lot, you know what I mean? Just a whole lot of stuff, you know, with speaking. But like, you just never know how God is going to use you. You know, I'm able to put down my thoughts in a song way better than I'm almost able to express them verbally.
There you go.
You know, just like talking with somebody. Let's say I gotten better over the years, but so anyways,
I'm like, I can't tell, man. You're doing good right now. You're doing good.
I appreciate it. Like I said, it's something God has worked on with me over the years, I feel like. But yeah, it's, you know, music has just been, it's a therapy. It can also be something you can get too wrapped up in. Yeah. You know, trying to chase the clout, and I've done them all.
Yeah.
Trying to chase the winning, trying to chase this or that. So I mean, the goal for me, man, has always pretty much been tell people my story and point them to God. And both, the stories will guarantee point you to God, with the music.
Yeah.
And I have fun with it too, man. I think it's important that you can have fun and release your thoughts in something like that. I've been blessed enough to kind of get into the sync. If people don't know what music sync is, it kind of gets your music on TV and sports centers and that kind of stuff. They play it on there. So that's something I realized I could do till I'm 50.
There you go.
I could just be sitting at home making music and, for sports themes and TV shows. Still clean, still all that stuff. Same stuff that I do. But it's one of those things that I've, again, experienced through the year. I could get my music played on this stuff.
On Sports Center.
Yeah, so I've been blessed to have some songs on there and stuff like that. So it's been dope. It's just stuff you learn over the years, but it's still gonna always be have fun. It's therapy. Talk God. Talk about my story, man.
How do you not have your music? We were just kind of talking about this, about the podcast, and how do you kind of like not make it feel like it's work? Because, when you're in the process, you're kind of doing it, and you're just like, oh, I got to do it.
Yeah.
I got to make another song. You know what I mean? So what do you do?
Man, I think it is one of those things that you just kind of let inspiration drive you.
Yeah.
It seems like a cliche answer, but it really is, though. It's like, if you're not having fun and you're not inspired, then it's going to be work.
Yeah.
If you're not having fun and you're not inspired, it's going to be work. Am I inspired to go mow the lawn? No. So it's going to be work.
Yeah.
Now, you might think, okay, I got people coming over today, so I want the house to look good. So now you're a little bit inspired.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. So you have to find an inspiration.
That makes sense. You
have to find an inspiration a little bit and again, purpose.
Yeah.
I still feel like I have things to say.
Yeah.
So if you got that, feel like you got a purpose and you're inspired and you're still making it fun, you're going to do it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's tough, man. Like I said, life can get in the way too.
Yeah. So your artist name is
BRM.
BRM?
Yeah.
If BRM right now, say you dropped a song, right?
Yeah.
And you put it on YouTube, you made a video, all that.
Yeah.
It hits like 20 mil.
Yeah.
How do you process that? Like what would be your next step? Or
man, that's a great question. I've never actually had that one asked to me before. I just feel like you just try to just do what you do, man.
Yeah.
Like don't let.
Sometimes I think about this, like with the podcast.
Yeah, that's a great question. Like, what would you do next?
Yeah, what's your next step? Exactly.
I think you just be you. You know what I mean? Like,
amen. For real.
I mean, I think you just be you. I mean, because Lord knows if something like that happened.
Yeah.
There's gonna be doors that open, and you got to be careful with the doors that you're gonna choose to open.
Exactly.
So that would be first, but I mean, being a Christian hip hop artist, I hope you would just still be you.
Yeah.
Don't let fame, don't let this or that try to, and then use that for good.
Yeah.
Use that 20 million for
to reach somebody.
They still now I really need to make sure I be talking my testimony and pointing to God, because otherwise, why did I do it? Why did I do it for? It's just kind of And there's nothing wrong with somebody who, by the way, like is doing well with. There's just like. There's this thing on like, oh, somebody's doing real well. Like, oh, they sold out. They sold out to the devil, or they sold out. Maybe they just did real well, and God wants them to do well, and now they're able to reach people. Like, they got people out. Like, I'm not a great performer on stage.
Yeah.
And that's a minister, whatever you want to say. Like, I'm not great on stage. I could show up to your show and I could do a good job. Like, don't get me wrong. But there are people who are meant to be on stage and to reach people when they come out to shows. Yeah. And there are people who do a really great job at that. I'm 40 years old. I don't want to travel around. So maybe there's somebody that they got. They're able to travel around. They want to travel around. They want to get on the airplane and the luggage, and I don't want to do that. Like, I'm cool with my family and my 2 kids.
Making my music,
and chilling, man. So, like, God calls you to different things, man, and some people maybe are they kind of get into the wrong place.
Yeah.
I heard somebody the other day said the devil uses people too. Okay. Maybe. Yeah. I mean, I'm not the most theological in the world, whatever. But yeah, I can see him promoting people too and trying to reach people. Look at the music business.
I mean,
there's people that are definitely being used for the wrong
reasons.
Yeah, wrong reasons. So people get into a spot, for the wrong reasons too. So I don't know. It's just just you do you, man. Make sure you point people to God, man, and following the purpose that God gave you, man.
Yeah.
It's a tough one, though.
That's a tough one because I think about it too with the pod, and I'm just like,
yeah. What'd you do? What'd you do if your show went to 20 million?
Man, I think about it, and I'm like, right now I'm in a state where I'm really trying to work on myself. Yeah. As I'm trying to like do the podcast and do everything, be closer to God.
Yeah.
Fitness, all this different stuff.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I would worry about is just like I feel like I would read too much into negative comments. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like it would affect me, and then like that's probably the biggest.
That's a big one too.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like you're on a like a pedestal. So like when you get that big, everything that
everybody
you do,
coming at you.
Yeah, and everything you do is like
magnified.
Like, so it's like I would worry about that because we all fall short of the glory of God.
Oh, gosh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like that's one of the things I would worry about. I'm like, man, am I like, what do I have to do? I gotta do this, and then it's just like all that. That's what I would.
Yeah, and I understand that. I have realized too over the years with the and I always answer the same way with negative comments. Luckily, I haven't had tons of them.
Yeah.
But they've been around. There's always trolls. There's always somebody's got something to say.
Yeah.
And again, I think it's something that comes with a little bit of experience in life.
Yeah.
And anytime I seen one of those comments, hey, I appreciate you checking it out. Sorry you didn't like it. And it's the same answer. It's the same answer I give every time. And almost 4 out of 5 times, those four of those people end up kind of coming around and just being somebody who just kind of checks the music out, and they then start to like, oh, okay, I appreciate your heart, and it might not have been my style, but I appreciate your heart. Okay, now now all of a sudden they said something negative about it, but now all of a sudden, So were they just hating to just hate? And now all of a sudden they like it. So sometimes it's just in your response.
Yeah.
And a lot of times too, you don't have to address everybody.
Yeah.
Somebody got something to say that's negative, you ain't got to address them. Your man pride might say, I got to address them. I got something I got to say.
Yep.
You ain't got to address them. So I think it's something that you learn over the years. Man, if that's the one thing that's holding you back, nah. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that, though.
Yeah, just go, man.
Just do it.
That's something I've learned, man. It's just like, who cares about what somebody got to say about? Are you doing it? Because usually somebody who says something, they ain't doing it either.
Preach.
They're not doing it either.
Hey, tell them, bro.
Yeah? Oh, you put a song? You put a song like 7 years ago. Oh, man, congrats. And again, not being like funny and facetious, but it's just like, don't worry. You just can't worry about it.
Yeah.
But I get it, though. I get it.
Yeah, and it's like, it's tough. But like you said, it's one of those things where it has to come with experience. And you kind of have to go through and get past it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You're absolutely right.
I was gonna ask, just touch a little bit on fatherhood, being a family man. I'm a father myself. I'm a young father myself.
Yeah.
I have one on the way as well. So for somebody young like me, a young father, what were some things that you'd
advice you would give? Yeah, man. Everybody's gonna do it differently. Yeah. As far as fatherhood and parenting is concerned. But I just always kind of think it's super rewarding. Number one, it's challenging, but it is rewarding, and I think it's for my wife and I. It's just been being on this because it's a group thing.
Yeah, it is.
It's a group thing. So communication, with your wife, because it's supposed to be a group thing, folks. I know there's a lot of single parents. A lot of people come from single parents and all that stuff, but God has designed it to be a group thing.
We got to touch on that too.
Yeah. And there's reasons why it's very difficult to do it singly alone
by yourself.
But anyways, man, communication with your wife, or wife with husband or whatever. and just be there, be present.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, man, you're trying to pick up the fitness again because you want to be around, right? Yeah. You want to be around for your kids, and yeah, man, just you want to be present. You don't want them to grow up chasing something else, and give them something good to look at.
There you go.
You know what I mean? You want to give them something good to look at. I mean, my son raps and does Christian music.
And what?
He's
That's
over.
dope.
Yeah. I mean, he's 12 years old.
That's dope, man.
And he's talking about God and putting in the rhymes and all that stuff.
Wow.
Well, that was one of the biggest. It was cool. I always knew he was listening to my music.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he comes, Dad, I wrote this song. I said, what? He's 10 years old when he wrote.
I think we don't realize how much they look. Like
how much they look at us. So, man, and when I say you don't put it on a show, but give them something that they can model,
Yeah.
See you loving your wife. See you the way you treat people. Yeah. See that you're talking about God. See that those are all things you want your kids to see. And let them know they have worth. Not in everybody else around you, but in God, and they have worth. Otherwise they're gonna find it somewhere else.
Amen.
Especially your daughters and stuff like that.
Yeah. I was gonna say too, man. Like, I saw this post, and it was saying like how obviously you put God first.
Yeah.
But it was saying that you should actually put your wife second to your kids, because in turn that's what's kind of
steering that
to like, you know what I mean?
Parenthood.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, yeah.
'Cause I feel like a lot of people are like, I put my kids first, or I put, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
well, you're missing a lot of things then.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. God first, and then your bride.
Yeah.
That's gonna be, if that's not being put first.
Yeah.
Then how are you gonna just put your kids first and then your wife behind that? Oh man, I don't feel like that's gonna.
It's not good. Something's wrong. You need to check it out.
Yeah, and again, I'm not like I don't put myself as like the most theological best thinker of all time or whatever like that. But if you're gonna put your kids first and then your wife, that ain't gonna work. Somebody correct me if they got like some kind of scripture, because I'd love to hear it.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, I love to be. Hey, correct me.
Yeah, no.
If I got something wrong, please correct me. So
I think it says in Ephesians, like, it says like the woman. What does it say? Man,
I know. I'm like you, man. Like you try to get me to quote something. Oh boy, but but I mean that's facts. Like it's God and your wife.
Yeah.
Because God brought that marriage together.
Yeah,
it's God and then your wife. You know what I mean? There's no doubt about it. So,
I mean, shout out to moms, man, because like, man, my fiance, we're not married yet, but we are.
Yeah.
I mean, she does everything.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Right?
Like, let's just think
Dang,
about,
I gotta
like...
pick my game up a little bit.
Yeah, man. She does everything. I got to say this, because if not, I get beat up later.
Say it. You say it, man. I agree totally. I mean, my wife's amazing, man. Shout out to my wife, Sarah. She's amazing. She steers that ship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They say we're supposed to be the king of our castles. We're supposed to be the leader in our families.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, and we are. But they steer that ship though.
Man, they do.
They are steering that ship.
They make sure everything is in order.
Everything.
I mean, Lord knows, like, man, dude, like Lord knows, like, men are just. We're not built like women. And it's like back to what you're saying. We need each other. You know what I mean?
Gotta have both.
Because if not, it's like you're on that sand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Your foundation is obviously God needs to be the foundation of the relationship. But without a wife, I mean, you're only in half, man.
Man.
You gotta build it up. You need somebody to build with, man.
You need that team.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why they bringing back the sports. I love sports. You ain't winning it with just one guy.
Exactly.
That one guy give you 30. But hey, y'all just scored 120 points, so the team need another 90.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Like, you need people playing their roles, and that's man. Wife and husband, play your roles, man, and communicate, man. That's huge. Communication.
I was gonna ask, man, what are some things that you're working on right now? If you want to kind of get some promo?
Yeah, nah, man. I'm always working on music.
Yeah.
You know, I got a team as well.
Okay.
You know, I have it. So a couple years ago, I signed with this group, Rapture Ready Productions. They're out of Louisiana.
Okay.
And they're dope, man. The guy over there, Jeremy Duncan, Jay Dunn. He's a big visionary, man. He's got all these, and I love people with ideas, man. I love people who dream big.
Yeah.
If you ain't dreaming, man, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you you got to start somewhere. I mean, so shout out to him. Well, out of that group came RRP North.
Okay.
So I got a group of me, a guy named TC Boyd, Kingsman J, and Brody Da Vinci. So we do stuff together, man.
Some dope names.
Yeah. Those are some dope. I like the Brody Da Vinci one. Like they got the artist, the canvas, you know.
I was gonna ask you just to talk about names.
Yeah.
I remember when I was first, I had probably 4 rap names.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to come up with? So yours was just well, obviously it's played off your name. Right?
Yeah. So it was Brandon R Music is when I just kind of came back again and started making music. It was like, just simple Brandon R Music.
There you go.
And I was like, all right, well, we need to shorten that up because that's stupid.
You ever use the rap generator thing?
But I know of that. Yeah, with the name. Yeah.
I did that.
You put in.
Yeah, dude, I did that.
Oh, man, you probably had some good ones coming there.
Oh, man, no. They were all terrible.
I love it. And then it was funny because I was like, all right, this BRM. Well, so I looked up BRM because those were the initials of Brandon R Music. And I said, all right, well, BRM's a gun in Call of Duty. And I'm like, that's great if you're like in the secular media. I'm spitting them bullets, man. I'm spitting them lyrics.
There you go.
Whatever. Well, then I looked up another one. This BRM is something that they use in clinical trials, and it's an agent of change.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, that's dope.
Yeah.
I was going to use the BRM regardless.
Yeah.
But then I saw that, and I said, it's also using, like,
different stuff.
Trials. For I like that, an agent of change.
That's dope.
And I was like, shoot, that's what I'm trying to do. So I was like, that's cool, man. I'm going to rock this one out. I'm going to keep this one. So, anyways, that's where that came from.
Simple.
Yeah. But, man, music, I'm always putting out music videos. I got a side business now as well. I'm a PE teacher, but I have a side business. I've learned a lot of stuff over the years. I do music editing. I do graphics. I do lyric videos, mixing and mastering. Anything creative that has to do with music or anything, I can do it. It's just skills I learned over the years. So that has been, I started that about a year ago in a couple months. And it's been crazy. It's been a lot of fun, man. I met a lot of people over the years in this music thing. So those people obviously had some faith and some respect in me and have hit me up for services and stuff. So, like I said, it's...
Where can people find you if they want to...
Yeah, man, if you want to find me, it's at BRMRRP on all socials. Okay. And as soon as you go on there, you'll see everything. Okay. See the music, you'll see the graphics, you'll see video editing, you'll see everything. So, at BRMRRP.
I'll put it down right here.
Yeah, right over here.
Yeah.
Nah, I get it, man. But yeah, I don't like self-promoting that much. Y'all follow me, you'll see a bunch of stuff, and hopefully you'll like something.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, it was great to have you on.
Appreciate you having me,
You're like
man.
one of the guys that it's crazy that we only had like 2 interactions.
Right, but then I kind of feel like, it is funny about social media because you can't really feel like you kind of know somebody.
Yeah.
But I was dope, though, to be able to have that. We had that encounter to actually speak and talk to each other. Yeah, man.
And it's weird because I feel like, I don't know if you know Prentice. He was on episode 18, I think.
Yeah, I've come across the name.
Yeah. But he was the same thing, and I told him I feel like it's real recognized real, man. That's what it is.
That's right, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
You can kind of just tell when someone's genuine.
Good vibes, man. Just good people, like easy to talk to.
Yeah.
Those are the people I like. I always say I don't like high maintenance. I like low key, low maintenance. easy to talk to, folks.
We're just chilling, man. Everything don't have to be too crazy. You know what I'm saying?
That could be another episode about
for real. We'll definitely have to have you on again,
too
man.
Crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, likewise too, man. I know you into music. I got some shows and podcasts and all that stuff too. I'll bring you on sometime, and we'll just, like I said, you good people, man. So we'll do it.
And I'll let you know if I get back into the music. You know.
Yeah, it's always fun, man.
But thanks, man. I appreciate you. Thank you guys for tuning in. Last Sunday, episode 21. See you guys in the next one. Peace.